Who says there's no gold in Wisconsin? I'm going to show you how much we can find. Now, I came to this creek, and on the way here, it was downpouring. And I was hoping that the water wasn't going to be too high, but it's high. Now, the water's really murky, and it's kind of hard to see where the gravel bars are depositing, but I'm going to do my best to poke around, so give me a minute. I'm going to do some test pans, find some gold, and I'll show you what we're after. The mosquito just rudely bit me in the butt. Stay off. Now, the first place I'm going to look is right here along this bank. You can see the main river channel comes in here. It's moving pretty fast, and then as it gets to the bank, it slows down. So that's a low pressure zone where potentially gold and heavy materials dropping off. So digging right here, I did find some gold. And if you look at the material, there's a mix of cobbles and clay, so it looks pretty good. But I want to dig deeper to see if I can find a little more gold and see if this is worth spending some time. So I got a full classifier here. I get that classified. Also got to break up that clay because gold sticks to clay. The water's so murky you can barely see what I'm doing. It ain't too bad. Let me show you. So you can see there's some pretty good specks of gold in there, about 13 specks. So the gold is getting better deeper. So I'd say that's a pretty good pan, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep digging deeper and test a few more times to see if I get an increase in speck count. And if I do, I'm going to start running some buckets. So the speck count has decreased, and now I'm getting about 3 specks per pan. So I'm going to move to better ground. So it pays to poke around. I went upstream just a little bit, and this pan has a lot more black sand and a lot more gold. So this pan, there's some nice chunky pieces of gold in there, a lot of little specks, and I don't even have it all uncovered from the black sand. There's a lot more in there. But this is an area that I think I want to classify some buckets. So I can't really see it because the water's so murky, but I can feel it. Right here, it's all soft and mucky. And as I go down with my foot, I can see.
I see with earth bending. It's kind of like seeing with my feet.
I can see it turns into smaller, more sand, and then gravel. That's where I dug, and that's where I found that string of black sand. So I'm going to dig all along that stream and classify some buckets.
So I'm going to start up the trommel. There we go. We got some water coming. Okay, here comes the bucket line.
There we go, perfect. Beautiful system.
Isn't anyone going to mention I'm wearing waders today?
You're not special.
Now if I look at our tailings, I see a good number of pieces of quartz. Even some big pieces of quartz like that, and that's a really good sign. During metamorphic and volcanic events, you'll have quartz seams running through the rocks, and as the glaciers came, it scraped all these rocks off, including quartz seams like this, and bands and iron formation, and dropped them here. Now, I'm not hitting a clay layer, but in between a lot of these cobbles is clay. Alright, so we got our first bucket of pay dirt, so let's go set up our sluice and sluice it out. Water's pretty high, but I think I might be able to get it to sit right here. All those bubbles out of there.
Why are you the way that you are?
You don't always get to dig right where you set up your sluice box. Sometimes it's better not to fill your bucket all the way. Dang it, I forgot my scooper again. I MacGyvered a scooper out of a Quick Trip Soda Fountain Buddy Cup. Alright, let's see how this runs. A little slow. See if I can get a little bit more water going through that. That's a little better there. Now we just start scooping. I see some gold on the mat already. I've got about half of this bucket run, but I'm a little bit worried about how much gold I'm actually catching. I'm seeing quite a few pieces on the indicator mat that I have, but I just want to double check to make sure I got it set up right. So I'm going to take this, pan that down, and just see what I got. Just wash it all into a pan, and pan from there. You can tell there's a lot of heavies in it. I'm not going to pan it down much at all. I just want to take a peek at it. It's catching a lot of material, so we're probably good. That's a lot of black sand. Holy cow. Let's just see if I can take a little bit of a peek. Oh boy. Well, there's definitely gold in it, but there's so much material in the pan, it's kind of hard to work with. So here's my little trick. I'm going to shake it up, get it all loose, dump it in. And that last bit there, that's the heaviest of the heavy. That's the hardest to dump out. So that's going to be a good representation of the gold that's in there. So I'm going to pan that back and take a peek at that. Oh yeah, we're running good. It's looking real good. Just a quick peek and I'm seeing good gold all through that black sand. Yeah, we're catching it. So I'm just going to set my sluice back up and keep running. This is set to be a great day. Now some of you might be asking, why sluice over panning? Well, when I sluice, I do this. When I pan, I do this. This is easier, more peaceful, and it catches the gold better. And in theory, it's faster. Although I'm running this material pretty slow. That's a big old flake in my indicator mat there. Sweet. So that bucket's cleared through, but I'm noticing at the end, it's hard to see, but you can see there's a little layer of black sand where my tailings are. So I'm going to scoop that up and see if we're catching all the gold or not. Quick look at that. I see one tiny micro dot of gold. And I'm not even sure that wasn't in the pan to begin with. So I think we're catching it all. Let's take a peek at that. Not get too carried away. Look at all that black sand. Holy cow. And I'm seeing a whole bunch of pieces of gold on the top of that black sand. It's too much to work with, so let's do our trick again. There's a lot less. Let's see. Just a quick peek. And look all through that black sand. And even down there, a great big chunk of gold. I think we've already beat the best day I've ever had here, and we're only one bucket in. What is it about these little specks of gold that's so fun? If you find a penny on the street, that's not fun. That's not exciting at all. But if I find a little speck of gold that's worth even a fraction of a penny, it's fun. And I keep doing it over and over. Can't explain it, just know it's fun. Well, this is a problem. It's an empty bucket, so let's fill it again. It's mesmerizing.
Yep.
So this water level has risen considerably since I got here. This is where I had my sluice, and there's too much water now. I can't put it there. There's always a lag when those storms come. You get your rain, and then it takes a while for it to kind of filter its way into the stream channel. So the water's probably still gonna rise while I'm here. Let's try to adapt. The grass is floating more. This little gravel bar was exposed when I got here, and now it's submerged. But maybe there's enough water here that I can get my sluice situated. I think we can work with this. Let's test this out and see if I can get it run before the water comes up anymore. That's a very slow creep. It's creeping, but very slowly. So my sluice is taking so long to clear off, and I'm putting the scoop on there, and as that clears, I put a scoop in the pan, so I'm double teaming it. By the time I pan that down, ready for another scoop. It's not how it's supposed to be. So I got that bucket sluiced out. Got some friends in the background panning as well. Let's see how we did in that one. Just too much material to deal with, so we'll do our trick again.
Hard, don't be afraid of it. Shake that dirt out. You can actually put your pan down and shake over the top of it.
And there's a few specks, but not quite as good as we were doing, but I'll show you. And there's a good number of specks there, but not for the whole sluice. But we didn't measure the whole sluice. We dumped most of that away. That's just a sneak peek, so I think we're gonna still stay here and do another bucket. So I'm here with Sean. He was just panning downstream and he found a nice speck. Let me show you.
Looks real nice.
A nice chunky piece right there. First pan, right?
Yeah, first pan.
Fun stuff. Time for bucket number 3. Fell in my own hole. Look at that. Big old piece of broken glass. You know my rule. Where there's broken glass, there's usually gold. I don't know if that's true, but it seems to be, so I'm gonna go with it. Whoa. Look at this. think I saw this in a movie once. That legit looks like a piece of lumber. Maybe. Very eroded. So I'm really getting deep here, but I haven't taken any test pans this low, so I'm gonna take a few test pans from this deep. So down deep, I'm still seeing good specks, so we'll keep digging.
Gold Digger Patty.
Gold Digger Patty.
Here we go.
All right, I'm here with Gold Digger Patty. She came down to prospect, and she's got some pretty good color in the pan. Let me show you. Look at that. She came down here and found some gold. What are you gonna do with all that gold?
I collect it and save it, and then if I pass, my son will get it.
It's the inheritance.
Yeah, I just do it for fun. I love to pan.
Yeah, it's addicting, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep. So I set my sluice up back where it was originally, and I'm hoping that's not too much water, but I'll adjust accordingly. I think this will work a little bit better than that slow-moving eddy I found over there. As far as I know, these dream mats are meant to run a little fast. So it chews through a bucket a whole lot faster when the water's going fast, but let's see if we blew all of our gold out or not. I see some specks in the mat, so that's a good sign.
That is gold. Oh no. Hey, did you take that out of your pocket on when you get away?
Yeah, I did.
All right, clean up number 3, let's see.
You want to fill a bucket?
Still specks all over the place and in the black sand. Still on it. So as long as we're still on gold and I got time, I'm gonna run another bucket.
Uh-oh, I bailed.
Look at that juicy pocket full of clay and sand. Probably full of gold too. Check this out. Limestone with vugs and druzy quartz. I can see all the way through that hole, and there's druzy quartz that have coated it, and it almost looks like an ancient path where a worm burrowed through. They call that bioturbation. Wouldn't surprise me at all if that was the case. Not entirely sure though. I'm pretty sure I just found some wire gold. I've heard about it, but I've never seen it before. That long skinny piece right there, that rolls around like a wire. So I think that's it. Whether that's wire gold or not, it sure is cool.
And a few.
One last scoop. There's always one last scoop. Everybody else left. Prospector Patty's still at it. Let's throw a few likes out for Prospector Patty. Upon editing, I realized I got your name wrong. Gold Digger Patty. Although Prospector Patty has a ring to it, doesn't it? There's some gold on my indicator mat. And some lead shot. Holy cow, that looks like a big giant nugget there. Wonder if I should try to snuffer that up or if it'll stay till I'm done with this bucket. You can see it from here. Holy cow. Bucket's empty. And that piece of gold is still there. Let's rescue it. Look at that giant piece of gold. Holy cow. That's a picker for sure. Oh my gosh, I picked it up. It's a picker. My first genuine picker.
I'm rich! I'm wealthy! I'm comfortably well off!
That is by far my biggest piece of gold. Holy cow. I'm gonna snuffer that guy up before he gets away. If he fits. Wow. Clean out the rest of it. Bucket number 4. And just a quick peek through that. I'm still seeing Nice chunky gold in the black sand. That means we gotta do another bucket. I almost feel like I'm digging in the middle of nowhere, but that's where that picker was. I'm just digging deep and in the bank. There's no clay anymore, it's just sand and gravel. And it's orange. There's bucket number 5. The water's already on its way back down. So that river crests pretty quick. Water level changes every time, so I have to adjust my sluice every time. You know, at times it can be kind of backbreaking, but then you get times like this, when all you hear is the sound of the river and gold clinking in your sluice. Pretty peaceful hobby. We're still on the gold. I hate to leave it, but I think I've had enough for the day. I think I'll leave some more for next time. Plus, I want to do some exploring. Now I got a big ugly tailings pile here. I'm not going to leave it there. I'm going to be responsible and put it back in the river. Nobody wants to see big tailing piles everywhere. Leave no trace. Fill your holes. Isn't that better? We had a good day. This is one heavy pail of concentrates. Let's get it home and clean it up. This is going to take some time. Before I go, I just want to test this one area. Now here, I'm up high on this hill, and right here is kind of a gully that washes into the main creek. Now this gully isn't big enough to turn the gravel over or deposit much. It's just carving through the glacial till. So I just want to skim a little bit off and see if there's any gold in the till itself. Obviously the creek is going to be where it's collected and concentrated, and you're going to get your pay dirt down there. This is just kind of, I want to see if gold is here in the till. It's definitely a lot easier classifying in the water. You can see it's a little sandy here, but as soon as you scrape off that top, as soon as you get into it right there, that's just all till. You can see it's just a mix of clay and sand. It's not sorted, it's not classified on its own by water. Just till. Oh, that's more than enough. That's too heavy. Okay, we'll walk back down and test it. Do you want to carry the bucket? You carry the bucket, follow me. Okay, so here's what that till looks like. Kind of sticky, gummy. I'm just gonna put it in my pan, start panning it down. There's basically no black sand at all in there, and no gold. Well, I only got a quarter bucket of it, so I'm gonna pan it all down and see if there's any gold at all. Alright, let's see if there's anything at all. Really not much for black sand. There's a few specks. And I don't see any gold at all. Interesting. Well, that answers that. Let's head back to headquarters. Okay, we're back at headquarters. First thing we need to do though is get this classified to a uniform size. I'll go through those later just to check for nuggets. So now it's reduced to that. Still a ton of material. Okay, so not including like our pea gravel size, now we have 3 different sizes of sand. So here's kind of our coarse grain sand, here's our medium grain sand, and here's our fine to very fine grain sand. And this is where most of the gold is going to be. Now to clean it up, I'll be using my Flour Gold Wizard Cleanup Sluice, specifically made for this super fine grain flour gold. Because it's made for the fine gold, not the coarse, I'm going to take my coarse grain sand and pan that out on its own. I'm not sure, but I don't think it's made to catch gold that big. I see garnets, but no gold. No gold in the coarse sand. It's okay, let's check the medium grain sand. Lots of magnetite, but no gold. That's okay, that would have just been a bonus. This is the main event, our finds. This is where all our gold is. Look at all that right in zone 1. Holy cow. I see some pieces all the way down into zone 6 and zone 7. Those are the biggest pieces. The sluice washes itself out. And we're left with just a little bit of concentrate to pan out. And there's the finished product. Wow. I'm a little bit shocked at how much gold we found today. Honestly, I think I might have doubled my lifetime collection. In fact, I'm going to dump this out and compare. That's my lifetime supply of mining, or all summer, versus that one time out. What a day. And there it is all together. We still got a little ways to go before we fill the vial, but we're a little bit closer. That was a ton of fun. Thanks for coming along on that one. Come on back for the next video. Thanks for watching.